Okay, so I'm back. Um, I want to show you something. See, this is from. Let me show it to you. I can't flip. Oh man, I can't flip the camera on this thing. So I can't flip the camera on this thing. But this is from the National Institute of Archives. All right there. That's the United States Archives. This is why we didn't find this information. Quite simply, the most, and it took me literally 2 seconds to do this. So I went to the archives, as you can see, and it took me literally 2 seconds to find that information. Literally one, two, count them, okay? 2 seconds. I said, how the United States Constitution came about, and it literally is like that. And I clicked on the archives, and it bring me to the archives. You can read this thing yourself, okay? So I just want to let you know it's in the archives. You can go read it yourself. It's free. Anywhere in the world, you can go look it up. Concerned about the Articles of Confederation, and that's literally what it was called. The concern about the Articles of Confederation. All right, because I remember which side wins. I don't remember that part. I can look it up, but I really don't want to. So the Revolutionary. So after a few years after the Revolutionary War, all right, that's the Revolutionary War. All right, after that they wrote the Constitution. All right, Alexander Hamilton, James Madison, George Washington feared the country was on the brink of collapse. All right, America's first constitution, the Article of Confederation. That's what it was called. Gave the Confederation Congress the power to make rules and request of funds from the states, but had no enforcement power. That was the first constitution. Oh my God, I cannot believe I have to teach Americans this shit. All right. So in other words, they had power to request money and ask for stuff, but they couldn't enforce any of the laws. The other wars, the other, so beside that one, of course, they make all the rules. That's how war is. The winner makes the rules. It's basic fucking knowledge. This is not fucking common. This is not rocket science. This is basic information. The winner always makes the rules. That's how it works. All right. Now, would the winner make the right rules? That's a different story. Kind of what's going on right now. The Republicans won, but they're not making any good rules for anybody. This is what's going on. All right. So when I keep telling people that the United States Constitution was written in the most, these freaking guys are some fucking geniuses. Okay. In my opinion, fucking geniuses. All right. I try to explain this to people before. First time I'm reading this. Very first time I'm reading this. And I'm telling you, exactly what I was thinking is exactly what these guys were thinking. And I've never even read anything about this stuff. First time. My brain works way differently from a lot of you people. Okay. When they wrote the Constitution, you need to remember one major issue. When the Constitution was written, it was literally the heights of slavery. They were still fighting about slavery and racism and hatred. They were trying to bring the country together. Think about this before you jump down your freaking rabbit holes and start acting like you're insane. Let me make it clear again. Stupidity, ignorance, being a moron is an absolute choice. So when I say you're stupid, ignorant, and a moron, I'm calling out your choices. The choices you choose to make. That's what I'm calling out. You can choose not to be stupid. You can choose not to be ignorant. You can choose not to be a flippin' moron. But because you choose to be, I'm calling out your choices. Your choices, not mine. Okay? Took me 2 seconds to look this up. Now, when they were writing the Constitution, they literally did it in secret. They started out in secret because, again, heights of slavery. The war technically wasn't over. When a war is finished, it usually takes about 2 years before the actual war ends. The ceasefire may happen, but the war usually lasts for at least another year or two before it completely comes to an end. This is what's happening here, okay? The war was over, but they were trying to kill the rest of the resistance and everything else in between. That's what they were trying to accomplish with that's what they were attempting to accomplish with the United States Constitution. When they wrote the Constitution, let me read a part of it, just a little snippets of it. Okay, so they agreed to count enslaved Africans as three-fifths of a person, okay? AKA slavery. Slavery itself was a thorny question. This is why the Constitution is written the way it is. Again, the whole damn thing started pretty much about slavery. You can say what you want to say, but the whole thing was probably about flipping slavery. Because if it's literally in the archives that they couldn't settle on slavery. So I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the war was about slavery. You can come up with all the nonsense you want to, but if slavery wasn't such an issue, why is it literally the biggest part of the United States Constitution creation? And they still couldn't finalize it. So the entire, as far as I am concerned, you can think whatever nonsense you want. These people literally went to war about slavery. Slavery was the issue. They see the country falling in a hole and it was never going to come out of it. And they wanted to end slavery because they saw that if you didn't end slavery, the country was going to collapse, period. And they fought to end slavery. And here it is, they still couldn't fucking seal the deal. All them people died and they still couldn't fucking end slavery the way they wanted to. But let me go a little bit more into this. Again, so when the slavery itself was a thorny question, and threatened to derail the youth. Oh my goodness! Again, this is in the archives. The United States Archives. You can freaking go look this shit up. I'm not making this shit up. It's right there. I'm showing it. See, look, see the archives. All right, that's what I'm reading. All right, archives. It was about to derail the Union. Again, slavery was about to end the fucking United States. I'm sorry I'm swearing so much, but this is pissing me off that Americans don't know this basic stuff. Slavery was about to end the United States completely. It was about to ready to kill the whole fucking United States. They fought to stop it. And here in the same... and here they wanted to solidify the Union now, because the Union needs to come together to make the United States what it is. And they're still trying to... Slavery is still a problem again. A thorn in the freaking... Okay, let's keep going here. Bunch of fucking geniuses fighting with a bunch of idiots. Never fucking fails. So I'm gonna say James Madison, Alexander Hamilton, and George Washington were the geniuses in the creation of the United States Constitution, as far as I'm concerned. All right. It was a temporary resolve. Temporary. This is a part I really want y'all to pay attention to. For every single content creator keeps saying that the United States Constitution was written to keep slavery in place. That is the biggest fucking crock of shit I've ever heard in my life. And I'm going to say that right here on TikTok. I don't care if they ban me. To hell with all of y'all. Stop lying to people. The United States Constitution was never built for slavery. It was built to end slavery. Right here. Unless this is a freaking lie from the United States Archives. Don't think it is. Unless it's a lie. Hey, somebody you gotta prove this. You gotta prove this information wrong from the archives. All right. So it was temporarily resolved when delegates agreed. This is the part you really need to pay attention to. It was temporarily resolved when the delegates agreed that the slave trade could continue until 1808. It's literally written right there, all right? 1808. That's how long slavery was supposed to last for. At the end of 1808, slavery was supposed to come to an end, completely wiped out. Don't even think about slavery no more. Slavery was supposed to be taken out of the United States Constitution after 1808. When I said these fucking three guys were geniuses, if you sit down and actually read the Constitution, the original version, and all, you know what, if you actually even read this, even with the amendments, even with all the changes and updates, if you actually sit down and read the United States Constitution, all right, you'll see something it's calling for. One, it's a roadmap to success. It's every single time the United States government, finance bureaus, whatever you want to call them, actually start to follow that roadmap, even for a millisecond, the United States literally start to just prosper. Just start following the United States Constitution. Because they saw exactly what division brings. And that's what they're trying to stop. That's what the United States Constitution is technically about. Stopping division. The people cannot keep fighting amongst themselves. Unite. Come together. Make a unit. And we will succeed every time we start working together as a team. And you get what you earned. Because that's because remember, they want to end slavery. They want to give people back their rights to be a human. 1808, it was supposed to end then. Black people were supposed to start counting as full human beings. They're supposed to have rights like everybody else. 1808 was that date. Was that year it was supposed to end. Let me say this again. Slavery was supposed to end in 1808. But what did they do? They killed fucking George Washington and probably kill all the other two guys that was there too. So in other words, the side that lost was still fighting the war after everybody else agreed and to stop fighting this fucking useless, stupid ass fucking war. So every single person that run around with a Confederate flag, you are literally the problem. Right there, the United States Archive proved it, that you guys are still the fucking problem. You're fighting a war that ended, oh my God, so fucking long ago, and you're still fighting this stupid fucking fight. The war was to unite the United States and get rid of slavery. If you fucking MAGAs ever want something to be fucking proud of, how about you do what your fucking people was trying to do? The people who actually went in them fucking houses and talked to the three people in that name, George Washington and what's his name and the other guy. They went in there to negotiate peace, surrender, and bring the Union together. How about if y'all want something to be proud of, actually do something worth being proud of. Bringing the fucking country together like they wanted it to be. End slavery. Stop that stupid white supremacy bullshit. And then you might actually have something you can be proud of. You're fucking ignorant. P.S. I may not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but I ain't the dumbest either.